Hey guys, and dolls, today I'm going to be sharing with you a tutorial using the Naked Basics palette from Urban Decay, which I've had for a while and I don't know why I don't make videos with it more often. It's a really good like basic palette and it's a good one to mix in with more fun colors, which, I mean, if you look at this you would immediately think the Naked Basics palette. So I also use some colors from Makeup Geek, and if I show you that palette it's going to be kind of all over the place. So I used like some of these like purples and this really awesome like pinky gold color. So I wanted to show you like a way to use some fun colors in with this neutral palette, because this really is such a good base for so many different things. It's got a few different highlight options in it. It's got some good like neutral blending out transitional type shades. It's a really great little palette. So, and I kind of feel bad that I haven't used it yet. I'm sorry, guy. I'm sorry. I think I used it maybe 2 years ago or something when it first came out. This look is actually the same look that I was wearing in my top 10 drugstore lipsticks video. So I will have a link to that in the description box below in case you haven't seen that yet. And so many of you requested that I do a tutorial with that makeup. So here you are. And that is all that I have to say about the look. I hope that you guys will follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to get started today with the Milani Shadow Eyes Pencil in Almond Cream. It's a very light beige shade. It's perfect for me. It's almost like concealer and primer in one. They do have it in a couple other of the neutral shades, but in my opinion I think that they should come out with a whole range of them, like in all like the skin tone colors, because it's such a great way to hide any kind of like veininess in the eyelid. And for most people, they don't have to use a primer with it, so it's kind of like a 2-in-1. It's an awesome product. To get me started with eyeshadow today, I'm going to be using the Naked Basics palette from Urban Decay, and this is a palette that I'm surprised I haven't used more often because it's so fantastic. If you haven't seen this before, it's a little mini palette of all neutral shades. It's a really great one to have to like mix in with others. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started by picking up Naked 2 and just like a tiny bit of Faint and tap that off. I'm using a Wayne Goss 3 brush. And I'm just going to, taking that brush like almost like upside down, I'm going to rock that in the outer corner of my eye. I just want to start to create some depth. And then I'm using that right side up to sort of blend it in. Cool thing about this Wayne Goss brush is it almost has like two sides, so you can kind of blend only with the side that has no product on it and then come back to the side that has more product on it if you want to blend more on. The next thing I'm going to do is pick up a little bit of Foxy on my Wayne Goss brush, and I'm going to pat that on the lower portion of the lid here, and I'm also going to sweep that into the brow bone. So it's sort of like surrounding what we've just done in the outer portion of the lid. I'm going to build up Faint and Naked just a little bit more. Really on the lower portion of the lid. About halfway over is the maximum placement I'm doing on this. Now that I've sort of packed on some color, I'm going to really delicately blend that. And what I mean by delicately is I'm just whispering the brush on my face. I'm not like going in and rocking it or anything, you know, I'm just barely touching, just trying to whisper out those edges. You have to talk very softly when you do this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply an eyeshadow wet to my eyelid. You can put the Fix Plus or water. It doesn't have to be MAC Fix Plus. It could be whatever you want to use. I just like this because it's convenient and it contains glycerin as well as water. So it's kind of like an extra ingredient that helps to make the eyeshadow adhere and all that nice neat stuff. Plus it's good for your skin. Anyway, so I'm going to take Cosmopolitan from Makeup Geek and I'm just going to pat that brush. This is a very large brush. This is a MAC 252. And I think, yeah, I was using the non-wet side. Anyway, pick up some of that eyeshadow and place that on the inner portion of the lid. And again, I'm going about halfway, and then I'm just going to whisper blend that into the crease. Using that like the tip of the brush to blend. So now I want to just enhance the outer corner, make it a little darker. I'm going to be using Drama Queen from Makeup Geek. It's a perfect eyeshadow to do that, right? And this is one of V's favorite brushes. I don't know the name of it because they don't have names. And I'm placing that at first just on the lower portion of the lower lid. And then I'll kind of squeeze it up a little bit. And then I will bring in a blending brush to softly blend that into the other colors. Do you see how I'm almost going like in a graduated, where it's like less here and then more as I get towards the outer portion, and then I'll blend that out so that it all looks seamless, but it'll still have that little bit of lift. Looking good, we're getting there. And then the last eyeshadow that's sent to us from Makeup Geek, and this is a MAC 217 brush. And I'm just putting this in the upper portion of the crease. Now this is a little bit more of a warm purple, and so it's really going to help to kind of dry that line in between the like cooler, darker, grayer outer corner and then this almost like orangey pink gold crease or inner portion. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of Venus from the palette on that same brush that we used for the shimmery color in the inner, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, place that over the pink in that very outermost part. Wow, really can't talk. You can see what I'm doing, so I'm just going to do it and we will call it good, okay? I'm going to do a little bit of a liner on my upper lid. I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Serum in Deep Brown. Okay, so for my inner rooms today, I'm going to use a Milani pencil. This is black. It's just one of the Twist Up Liquid Eye Twist Up pencils. And I'm going to put that in there. Ooh, tickly. It's hard to do it on camera, so let's see. And then on the outer lash line, I'm going to be using a Stila smudge stick in Deep Burgundy. Slap that on there, and then I'm going to take a cotton bud or a Q-tip, whatever you want to call it, and just schmutz that out. The more you smudge it, the better. Then also kind of drag that color to the upper portion of the lid a little bit. So because we applied it and then blended it out, it's going to end up looking more like a wash of burgundy. And because of that, it's going to act as kind of like a background for our lashes, so it's going to make our lashes look thicker and more lush. So today I'm using the Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara, and I'm going to apply it to the bottom lashes first. I like how this one has like the little curved or like wand thingy. You can say brush, whatever. And I'm applying this pretty generously because I want my lower lashes to really stand out. And then if you get any mascara schmutzes, just blend them out and into the look. Now I'm going to curl my upper eyelashes. So my lashes today are from Ardell. This is the wine color of the Demi Wispies. I love the Demi Wispy lashes because they always look good and I don't have to cut them down, and it just makes the whole process a little bit easier, and they pretty much go with any look. They're very natural looking, but still a little bit enhanced as well. So I go ahead and apply a little bit of the glue on this. This is the Duo Adhesive with Vitamins. While the glue is setting up on my lashes, I'm going to apply a little mascara. Particularly heavy at the root of the lash, and I'm not really going to worry if it looks clumpy because the lashes are going to go on top of it and they'll kind of look feathery on the outer end. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the falsies. Make sure you get them as close to your lash line as possible. Alright, the next order of business is to pick up that burgundy, deep burgundy liner and paint that over the liner that you did earlier. And try not to do what I just did and make a boo-boo. a boo-boo. Just take a Q-tip and blend it out. The next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of Drama Queen. Again, same little brush that we used earlier. A little bit of that. And I'm just going to place this right here in the outer portion of the lower part of the lid. I'm really just enhancing that, making it a bit deeper than it was before. And then I'm going to bring back my 217 brush and just blend that. Taking that same brush from earlier, I'm just going to lightly sweep it over the crease colors. Again, it's just about making everything harmonious. So we're dragging some of that warmer color into the outer crease, but not picking up a lot of extra products, and it's just about like flirting a little bit of color in. And again, I'm using just like the tip of the brush rather than the side of the brush, because the side of the brush would deliver a lot more product, whereas just using the tip of it just kind of flirts the color in. And then the final thing I want to do in terms of eyeshadow is I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of Venus from this palette and a little angled brush here. And, oh no, wait, other side. And I'm just going to, well, I can't see. And now you can't see, sorry. I'm just placing that on the lower portion of the under eye area thingy. Just brighten it up. For my blush, I'm going to be using MAC's Warm Soul and a blush brush like this from Sigma. This is a F40. Placing that on the apple of the cheek and working it back. There's a little bit of glow in it too, which is kind of nice. And then time for lips. So for my lips today, I'm going to be using Cherry Pickin' from Wet n Wild. I just sort of like stamp it on all over it first, and then I'll go in and drag the lipstick around. Now, a lot of people have asked me which liner I use with Cherry Pickin', and when I do use a liner, I usually use Urban Decay's Jilted because I think it matches it really well. However, if you don't want to go out and buy another liner, you can just take a brush like this. It's a small little lip brush. This one's from BH Cosmetics. Lots of companies make them. You don't have to get this exact same one. And you just take a little bit of the lipstick onto the lip brush itself and then just clean up the edges without having to use an actual liner. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled my hair down and I put it in this deeper part than what I've been doing, and I actually really ended up liking the way that it looks. The final touch is to take a little bit of the Milani eyebrow tint and fill in my freckle. And then I will just take a powder brush over it. It kind of helps it to look a little bit less makeup-y if I have a little bit of my face powder over it, because it doesn't, you know, look like a freshly applied, you know, like freckle that I put on, if that makes sense. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I applied my makeup today. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for more constant updates, photos, fun stuff like that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to check out my top 10 drugstore lipstick video. I'll have a link to that in the description box down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember to just be yourself. See you, bye.